day 118, we seem to have lost the video. We've got some major rain coming up. I just came out here to record the thunder and the lightning, so we get any of it. I've just seen that the video that we were recording has disappeared. So anyway, there's a few things that are happening today. Quite a few guys out here. More blocks have been laid on the front. So we've got 1,200 blocks that have now been delivered. We've got the rain coming in and a massive storm. Hopefully we'll see some of it. Over here is the airport. So you can just see the airport in the background. You can see how rainy it is over there. And the actual rain is coming in from the sea. You can see it right across the sea. You can't even see over there. Amazing. But anyway, we've actually, earlier on today, I actually tarped up the basement hole. Not that it will hold everything back, but it will try and keep some of the moisture out. We've had the rebar boys making a return to cut out all the stuff they put in by mistake. Messy gits that they are. They've not gone very deep, mind. We have to talk to them about that. And they're so bloody messy. This stuff here is their wire they use, and it literally rusts within 2 minutes. So anything like that being left around is just going to make an awful rust mark. So they've cut out other parts of the beam there. This is a T-junction beam. Pissed, obviously. They've had to cut out the rear ones because they made it a square beam, which is incorrect. They had to cut out more here. Again, rebar shouldn't have been there. And then all the way along where there's windows and rebar and windows, I've had to do it. 73 in total. Another one here, right in the door frame, that's going to be patched up. Another one at the end over here. Oh, a bit of lightning. Drop one out in there. We've also worked out that they've made the column, the main column that supports the overhang, they've actually made it nice bit of noise. That's where it's meant to come to. So that's the rebar to there, so they've not made it long enough. They've also put that in the wrong place. That's meant to be where this line is. So yeah, a bit of a mess up from the rebar boys. 73 in total they've had to cut out all around the property. Loads over here. Again, common sense says this is an outside manhole. There was rebar all the way, all this orange spray. You can see I sprayed everywhere this morning when they need to cut out, which they did. They cut out along here for a door frame. All this orange along here. I don't know how many were there, quite a few. And again, I've been over and cleared it off. They've got to get all the steel off because it just rusts and leaves marks on the finished floor. They've had to cut out the door frames here, window frames. So anyway, it's starting to pee down as always. Rain season in the Caribbean after all. Nails on the floor, they rust. Get off. So yeah, this is pretty much where we are at the moment. I think we can actually get a little bit more pace going, more bricklayers, more masons, maybe more plumbers. Apparently there's going to be a lot more at the weekend. In fact, we need a hell of a lot more. If we want to get this done within 2 to 3 weeks, we literally have to bring more men and labour in, big time. So I should be talking to him about that later on. But in the meantime, hopefully the weather will back this off. We'll try and get back to doing the job. We're going to get a little bit of lightning in, but we're not going to get it, are we? What a shame. Thunder and lightning happened just a minute ago was immense. Spin it around just in case, I might be lucky. It's a very loud bang and lightning. As if it was just above. It doesn't look like we're going to get it. Anyway, sorry, 118 is short, but I lost the video for some unknown reason, so God knows what happened there. But anyway, if any more happens, I'll check in. If not, another day. 10 to 5. Rain has naffed off. Before it closed down, and have a quick look on the front. Show you what they've done so far. So that's a full day. 3 courses between 2 lads. Yeah. Apparently we may have 7 or 8, maybe 10 masons on site as of Saturday. But obviously I'm very mindful we're on Thursday going into Friday. Ideally we need those people here if we've got any chance of pouring away, you can't pour on the brain. We've got any chance of getting these courses up and the roof on within 2 to 3 weeks, we definitely need to change. So it is looking a lot straighter when you stand here. From down there it really does make it look as if it's aiming towards you. I think it's mainly because the front itself, the front pour, is obviously standing out. But Wayne, the site manager, poured some lines for them, which they've been trying to go by. Normally masons do that as soon as they start. They pour their own lines. But anyway, I mean, at least a start's been made. So the rebars have all been cut out as I explained. There's still a few minor changes. They will probably be cut off and taken up through the roof and dropped down. The rebar has been extended. Looks like that one's just been dropped in full stop. Yeah, it is. Not good. So yeah, the ones that had to be moved or cut have actually been placed in full stop. The ones that are there have been extended. Again, we need to get pouring. So tomorrow, I think they get to 4 courses, which is where they are now. And they then pour and fill. It's just things like that. No, it's not even touching. Maybe it's me being picky. Not too sure what happened anymore. Little block. Yeah, it's a very different way of doing things here, that's for sure. But anyway, the columns, they need to be boxed up as well and poured. That one's got to be done as well. The main thing we've got to do tomorrow is decide what we're going to do with this. Number one, as you can see, it's clearly not centre. So really what we need is the whole thing to move left by about 10 inches. That means that the gap there will be 6'6", and so will this gap. And then we've also got the front column that is supporting the above roof and the overhang. It probably needs to come forward by about 2 inches, 3 inches. So yeah, at the moment that means that at the present time we've got a wider gap here. I can't remember how big it is, but I think we're talking about 7.5 foot now in between here and 6 there, which isn't major, but that's going to be boxed in, and these boxes here are going to be for the air conditioning. So we could literally box them up. It does hide less of the rear kitchen, so this is obviously breakfast bar here, so it was designed to physically hide the kitchen cooking area and the breakfast bar element, as well as holding up the roof. But obviously it'd be nice if it was all centred. You see the centre column at the moment, the line comes right through the actual kitchen element and joins the wall down here. Again, we're going to have to move. We're getting away with it. We might get away with this one here. So the door frame has to be centralised on here. So in an ideal world, I want the door frame here, smack bang in the middle. The downside to that is, if we go smack bang in the middle, then we may land up losing the side piece here and the toilet doors there. So really, you don't really want to be having the toilet looking through the living room, but at the same time, you don't want to land up having the door frame not central. So I saw it being, potentially a 4-foot opening here. No door in it, just a big square opening. But it does mean that this side return here, this return piece here, is quite large, which I don't really want it to be that large. I would say probably about here, and then centralise the door. That then means you're going to see the door at the other side, so not too sure what will play with my marbles more, seeing the toilet door and not having a central. So I'll have to have a think about that. My preference at this present time is to have a central door there. So between this wall here and this wall here, whatever that measurement is, looks around about 10 foot. I'd have a central 4 foot in the middle. And I'd see a little bit of the toilet door there, and I'd see the garage door there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think coming down the hallway, seeing the garden once it's actually landscaped and doesn't look like it's dig at a dump, and then the first thing you're going to do is going to turn around this corner into a centralised piece straight through the middle, looking at the other side. So I think that's what we should be gearing it to. So anyway, apart from that, obviously all the other rebar was done as well. I'll show you a few bits over here, which I think I've shown you anyway, but just to reiterate, not too sure why, but there was loads of little stumpy bits of rebar all the way along here. So this is the solution the rebar guys have come up with. It's not good enough. This is meant to be a polished floor. So all of that has got to be cut down further, and we've got to try and get some form of way of finishing this floor off, or technically the polish was a waste of time. We have to put a finish down on top. So we've got to think about that. Obviously we'll leave the manhole covers masked up for now because they're just going to get damaged. The formwork was removed today throughout the swimming pool area, so now we can start really seeing the size of the pool. I know there's one viewer out there that asked a few questions about the sun shelf and stuff like that, so you can now see it a bit better. So we're probably, I think in total we're about 18-19 feet in width. We're obviously about 40 foot in length. This sun shelf is 6 foot wide by about 14 foot long, and it's about a foot deep, as you can see. Weird. And this is where the steps will be joined, so there'll be 4 foot wide but 6 foot long steps going down here. These pipes on the side, as far as I know, are electrics. That's where the actuals, there should be 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not sure what that one's hanging off the end. It's right on the end. So we've got 5 along that wall, which will literally shine that way. And the reason why we did that is when you're in the house, I didn't want LED lights that way facing this way and blinding you. So these lights will be more than powerful to light up the whole pool. And obviously when you're in the house, they're shining that way, which keeps it away. The jets, we've gone for 6 jets. Obviously these 2 are going straight up, but these are at an angle, which helps the water go off the infinity edge. And as I've said, there is going to be infinity edge put on there, which will be glass. We're still waiting for feedback from the people we've gone to for that. Apparently using someone in the States, and they're taking forever to come back, so I'm not too sure why and when that's going to come. Nice to see they got that put away before they went home. I tell you what, if these guys actually understood how expensive wood was, they literally would not be leaving it out. But anyway, we need to take all that off, so all the formwork around the side there still hasn't been taken off yet, so that's going to be done. I'm going to get the guys to sweep out in here tomorrow, just get it a little bit tidier, get rid of their frigging bottles. Things like rebar, just get it gone, get it all tidied up, get it all put away. It's the one thing at the moment that, you know, construction's a nightmare with anyway. But here, for some unknown reason, they really do hate having to do any form of tidying up. I'm not too sure why that is not on the centre. What that means is he saying that means that it's not plumb all the way through? Need to look at that. One thing that I obviously did notice is that they've made this opening too wide, so this is actually meant to be, I think it's, what is it? I think it's about 8.5 feet, I think it is. But it's wider, so we're going to have to box this one back over. This is the door track, but they've taken the door track right to the very end. It wasn't meant to be the end. This is going to be an 8-inch block here, so pull this up. An 8-inch block will go here, and the door track will butt virtually up against it. This is going to be a 16-inch wall out here to take the weight of upstairs, and this will be a 12-inch wall going over there, 5'4", and this will go for about 10 foot, and this is where the pocket doors. So there'll be a door track going right through the middle into the pocket, and then there'll be an internal suspended wall that we'll build out of, I think they call it 2x4s here, we call it 4x2s. But anyway, there'll be a 2x4 going through here, up to the 12-foot ceiling, and the doors, the beautiful doors, hopefully if they ever get out the container, will land up sliding from that centre column, 3 panels all the way through, and then they hide behind the pocket. Air conditioning holes have been positioned, fingers crossed, should be 6 inches from that inner wall, if the carpenter actually did what I asked them to do, which was just measure what was on the floor before you cut and fit, but I'm sure he probably didn't. And then we're going to pull the lines back in tomorrow. I mean, again, that's not straight. So pull the lines back in again tomorrow and make sure we're 100% that every room is actually had a line pulled and also has been marked. There was a little bit of rain earlier, but it seemed to do its job a little bit. But again, we're just trying to stop water going downstairs. We're trying to get downstairs swept out because obviously we put all the sand down there. The sand on the floor obviously to protect any form of concrete from the pour leaking through and going onto the floor itself. So downstairs is now full of water because we've been spraying, full of mosquitoes and stale water, loads of sand, obviously loads of concrete that pour through. So we've got down a good sweep out. In fact, I might go down and have a quick look now. I said I just need, now we're starting to put walls up and whatever else, it's going to start hiding the sun and the wind. So we need to try and get downstairs dried out sooner rather than later. Again, we're in the Caribbean and it's bloody hot. In England, we'd have humidifiers going, trying to get that moisture sucked out. But here, as long as the heat can get down there, it's really not necessary. So fingers crossed. They've cleaned out as much as they physically could, but I left them to it after helping them do pretty much half of it. And I do not what that like. So let's have a quick look downstairs to make sure that it was finished off, which I doubt it is because it needed to dry out as well. So in their defence, there's quite a lot to do. I'm sure I'm going to see a great thing as well. So it's still soaking wet in here and warm. Look. Okay, so there's the sand they put there. So we're now getting a bit of dryness, which is cool. I can hear water leaking. There's still plenty of water. So it's leaking from this side. See, I wasn't going to keep all of it out. But anyway, the guys still got quite a bit to do. Look, so swept up in the corner and then you get all of this out. They need to pump the rest of the water out as well. So we need to push the water down here. So you've got slabs like that. That's all got to be broken up. They've got rebar down here, which needs to move because obviously rebar on the floor with water does what you know what. Again, more concrete on the floor. Expensive timber laying down. So yeah, it's just a case of getting down here, sweeping out, breaking up all the concrete that shouldn't be here, using the sump holes to pump the water out. So we've got some sump holes in the corners. Down here's got to be plastered inside, which still hasn't been done. But we've managed to sweep most of it up. It was really thick with sand down here, but there's still piles here that I need to wheelbarrow out and concrete to break up. So we're going to need to try and work on that. But it's already drier. But until we get something fixed over that, it's just going to keep on leaking in every time it rains. So it might be worth us looking to get that boarded over properly in the meantime, just to stop any more water coming out, so we can try and use this as a bit of an oven to dry itself out. Block. So yeah, you can see the concrete's come down, it's quite a bit of it. So we just need to break it up, make sure that none of it's fixed. And give it time to dry out. I mean, down here is still wet, it shouldn't be wet here at all. There's nowhere for the water to come through over here. So again, we just need to get it swept. There's another sump hole in this corner here. So we can sweep it all into that corner. I'm pretty sure that is still open, isn't it? Well, they poured it now, I might have poured it, so that was open, we could have used that. But yeah, there's plenty of, it's a lot cleaner and drier down there now, so we just need to get the remainder out and probably seal upstairs first. That way we'll stop it coming in. And all of these acros, jacks, what you want to call them, they stay down here in place for at least 21 to 28 days. That's not ideal. Should have a lid on that, need to hide that. All the services coming through over here. Obviously we talked about the air conditioning, the water and the gas, everything coming through, they're all there, and the electrics are all on that wall for now. And in this corner here is where we're going to house the main heat exchange, water heater, etc. Down here again needs to be swapped out, rebar everywhere. wood, expensive wood everywhere. I've not been down here to check it out actually, so let's have a quick look. Lots of shit down here needs to be cleaned out. Pipe work. Very, very wet down here. Why is it so wet down here? Oh, this is quite deep. Not too sure why it's so deep down here. There's not a great deal down here. No damp patches, so it just looks like it's been holding it. Okay, so again down here we're going to need to get this broomed out tomorrow. Not too bad surface wise. Just need to get a good broom down here, get it swept right through, get this water out to the very end. Again, break up any concrete that's fallen through, take any form of spares, either put them away somewhere, rebar rusting around the floor. Yeah, just get it put away. Even nails are just as deadly. It's only a major because it's meant to be a polished floor. So if it's a polished floor, i.e. it's the end product, then anything that's on the floor rusting just stains the floor, and then that's it. You can't use it as a polished floor anymore. So yeah, the guys need to be told they can't just go around and pick up anything you can see that's rusting away in the water, so that it doesn't cause any damage. Just causes us less work long term if we do. But there's a lot of it, so I'm going to get it all done tomorrow. I'll get them down here. Painful as it is, they're bloody everywhere. So anyway, get this swept out, get it looking cleaner. At the same time, obviously it can start drying out as well, which is one of the main things. It can't dry out all the time. It's like a big sponge. Rebar. It's not cheap rebar as well. Jesus. So anyway, as you can see, still quite a bit more to do. So, very mindful as well. They've taken the acros away from the doorways as well, which is not ideal. So we'll just be putting those back tomorrow. Don't want to be having the door frames. The door frames, obviously, we don't want those to be unsupported whilst the concrete's going off. So we'll have a chat with them tomorrow about that. So yeah, apart from that, we'll just double check how many acros we've got in place. Make sure we talk to the guys who are ensuring they stay in place. Yeah, get things tidied up tomorrow and then have a solid plan for the weekend. He's saying 3 weeks to get the house, I'm assuming both houses, the annex cottage and the main house up and with a roof in. That is a very, very, very tall ask, but if you get the right people here and get the right plan in place, it can be achieved. So, but we just need to get very clear on what that plan looks like and who's going to do it and what we need in place to make sure it does. So hopefully I can try and work with everybody tomorrow to build that plan to ensure it happens, because the fit out is my main focus, and obviously can't even start until we've got a roof on. So that's the aim, fingers crossed. But anyway, over and out for today. See you tomorrow.